On MM, you mentioned that AI is running out of data, but they can move to more specialized users in the future. Yeah, it's not that. If you think I'm saying that AI will freeze in place and never get any better, that's not what I'm saying. Of course, it'll continue to improve. They'll always find ways. Humans always find ways. What I'm saying is they had a real easy path, which was if AI model 1.0, if 1.0 is pretty good, it's like this, then 2.0 can be good just by getting more GPUs and more data. And 3 can be really good by getting more GPUs and more data. Just keep tossing more NVIDIA GPUs and tossing more data. But now they're running out of, good, authentic, clean data. They've scraped the whole internet, so they can't double the amount of data. They just can't, they don't have that ability anymore. And calls into question the whole GPU idea, where they need to keep buying 200 billion, 300 billion, 500 billion GPUs. So the idea is they could probably use the same amount and then just get better training or improve the models or the harder part, And that might slow things down a bit is the idea. The simple, easy way that they did from here to here it's seeming to not be working because AI is just getting recursive slop. When will you realize Gliz AI? I think you have thousands of hours of data for it. Is that some sort of hot dog related AI that I would have data for because my fingers are hot dog equivalent? What is that? Where are you going for this? Anthropic guys said at the current rate we'll have AGI by 2027. I mean, he could be right. I'm not going to rule it out, but I will just say I'm becoming numb to these type of statements because you start to realize that everybody is constantly talking their book because that's how you get more money. You have to constantly be talking about how 1 or 2 years away is some big breakthrough because that's how you get more investors to be, I'm not going to invest in this slow 10-year plan. It's like everyone's jumping on the Elon strat. Elon's been running this game for a decade now, 2 decades. And it's, you just lie. You just lie, and then by the time it gets past that, you just make another one. And no one ever stops to care because you've already gotten so much money from the first lie that it snowballs. By the way, speaking of AI, this is totally separate, but someone made an AI Smash Bros. Melee player that has been dicing up some top players. Diced up Wizzy, diced up, I don't know if it's been up good players. It's called Philip. And it has a thing on it so it can't be superhuman speed. Obviously a computer can always be at a mechanical game, just be super fast. It has human reaction times. It's just incredibly good, and it beat everybody except for Zane. Zane fucked it up. Well, not fucked it up. It was like 5-3 in a bet, first to 5. I mean, Zane actually lost the first game pretty handily, and I was like, whoa, and then he brought it back. So Zane fucked it up, but then apparently they used the replays to train it. It's like the robot from Incredibles. They've been fighting top players one by one, then losing to it, then training the replays, then coming back, and then it trained on Cody and beat Cody, and now it's fighting Zane. And so Zane beat it for now, but it's crazy. I mean, it might come back. Smashbot destroying pros. Yeah, Smashbot doesn't really count though. Again, Smashbot is like, it's not good at the game. It's just so mechanically perfect. It can power shield everything instantly. It can wave shine. Everything is so frame perfect that it's impossible to beat. But this is a robot that plays with human reaction speed. It has a limiter on it, but it's still winning. It's still playing. It looks like actual Melee. That's the scary part. Who does Philip main? Of course, Fox. Of course, Fox. It's like OpenAI for Dota. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Shark, I'm gonna do some shenanigans compared to downloading a car. You're gonna pirate it. All right, very nice. I'm no shade, but right. Do you subscribe to 0 streaming services? I feel like if you subscribe to 1, most people pick Netflix. You get the ad version or whatever, $7.99. I'm just surprised. Or is there something else that you really have to see, or what's the mostly use Max? Okay, that's cool. That's base. Also, by the way, I know that they cracked down on Netflix password sharing, and I know that it caused them to sell a bunch of subscriptions, but like I still see people using other people's passwords. So is it actually cracked down on? Like I think it hasn't really. They did this whole crackdown, and it clearly worked. It had to crack down on some people because that month they got a bunch of subs, but it feels like a lot of people aren't actually cracked. I'm not snitching. Wait, who in this chat is a Netflix executive? Who's a Netflix executive? Because if so, then okay, wow, it's a lot of you. What's crazy is it's the same people who also said, shh, you're snitching. How are you the one calling me out for snitching and also the one who's hearing the snitching and then using it to catch the... Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, anyway, I think people do share still, which is cool, based. Not paid well enough to afford my own. If you think I'm shaming you into buying Netflix, that's not what I'm doing. What I'm just commenting on is that Netflix has not been that effective in their big mission to crack down on password sharing. They made a whole thing about it. Hey, Chuck, I just got a pretty good scholarship to the Harvard of the West. I want to ask your thoughts on ASU's college experience. The Harvard of the Southwest. Although really Harvard is the ASU of the Northeast. At this point, ASU sort of surpassed it. What I would tell you about ASU is you can get whatever you want out of it. That's the cool thing about ASU is it's got so many students and they have plenty of money and they have infinite clubs and they have good weather. So you can kind of do whatever you want. And if you want to hole up in a room and play League of Legends, you could do that for sure. You can do that. I would say, well, that's what I'd usually say is I say the best part about ASU is like you can find some people your age interested in any hobby you have because there's just so many students at ASU. So there's so many clubs. And we started the ASU esports club, and this is like an earlier time, you know, I'm old now. So, and we got tons of people and and they gave us money and they gave us a room and they gave us jerseys and they gave us like ASU supported the club because we had a lot of people and it was great. What is this? Hey, Shrug, I made some money from a big social media platform for coding an app for their platform. Is that worth putting on my resume? Yeah, why not? It wasn't a lot of money, but I feel it's similar to a hackathon. Yeah, of course. I mean, if you ever have a chance to work with any well-known company that has like a recognizable brand and logo, you should just pretty much always dump that in your resume because people skim resumes. And when you have any recognizable company, it like helps 10x. You know, it's like if you did just imagine you're hiring for a job and it says they did, you know, 2 years or did a project with Google or whatever, you know, it pops it out. It makes it pop out. I'm just going to tell you, that's the way it works. Brand names work on resumes. Have you seen the new Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has added a $20 improved audio setting? That sounds like a wins and fails moment. Is that real? $20. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has a built-in support for better audio tech that costs $20 for 5 years. That's so wild. Oh, wait. It's like a third-party audio tool. That's not the same thing. You have to buy the tool, I think. How does it make you feel by the next election be able to run for president? I guess it makes me feel good because I plan on winning the thing. You know how I said that my whole theory on how we're going to get an FDR in 2028? That wasn't metaphorical. I'm going to dress up as FDR. I'm going to inject myself with polio and I'm going to run in 2028. ATR. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be big. Well, you won't run, but you'll roll. RFK Jr. will give you polio personally. Whatever. Fine, whatever it takes. Polio's his whole thing. Yeah, FDR's whole thing was polio. Well, some say that his polio is what gave him, you know, FDR is one of the few people from his type of background to be what you might call a class traitor. You know, he had a exorbitant privileged upbringing and yet spent much of his power and political capital to bring taxes to people of his socioeconomic class. And, you know, some people say that has to do with possibly his polio, which made him feel like more of an outsider and see the struggle and feel like he's not. So I think polio is pretty cool, huh? Right, folks? Maybe we should all get polio. Would you rather have to outsmart Mike Tyson or fight Jake Paul for your survival? This is not a knock on Mike Tyson's intelligence, but obviously I'd rather outsmart Mike Tyson than try to fight Jake Paul. You know, I'm sure Mike Tyson's a sharp guy. He clearly has interesting thoughts on legacy that I saw in that clip yesterday. The problem is if I fought Jake Paul, I'd kill him. I don't want to murder someone. Do you know what I'm saying? If I outsmart Mike Tyson, he looks a little goofy. If I fight Jake Paul, he's dead. So I just wouldn't feel right about that morally. It would cross a line for me. Hey, Shrug, with Taiwan stockpiling coffee cows, do you think China might conduct a limited glizzy strike? I want you to look yourself in the mirror tomorrow in the morning, and I want you to read this message back out loud to yourself. I want you to look yourself dead in the eye, and I want you to read this message, and then I want you to think about what you're doing with your days, with your time, with your mental energy on this earth. They'll laugh like the Joker. Xi Jinping said we'll be full coffee cow by 2050. Oh, boy. You guys have some funny memes.